Hi everyone, I'm Callie Kim. Welcome to my garden. I just made this DIY tomato string trellis in an afternoon out of mostly repurposed materials. It was quick to set up, easy to make, and very inexpensive. And I'm super excited to grow tomatoes in a whole new way. Lots of tomatoes will be able to grow in this small raised bed. Last year, my tomato crop, gotta be honest with you, was an epic fail and a huge disappointment due to weather reasons, pests and critters, and disease. Have you ever had years like that? Well, I sure have. But like I'm always telling you, learn from your mistakes. Failures are just learning opportunities, and don't be afraid to experiment in the garden. So I'm trying something new this year, and I'm going to show you exactly how I built it. Here's how this method works. Believe it or not, the tomatoes grow up the string, taking advantage of all this vertical space, and I am going to be heavily pruning these tomatoes. So it's good for indeterminate tomatoes only. But pruning has several different advantages. Number one, you can fit more tomatoes in this 5-foot raised bed. I've got 4 tomatoes in here. Number two, pruning means that more of the plant's energy goes into producing big tomatoes and less leaves. Now, pruning also increases the plant's sun exposure and it creates more airflow under the plant and around the plants, which reduce the risk of tomato disease. Always a huge problem. If you enjoy our videos, please click the like button and subscribe. Thanks. Here's the supplies I used for this project. Most of them I already had, so I was able to cut down on the cost even more. First off, 2 6-foot T-posts. You'll need the T-posts that have holes in them. Next, 2 5.5-foot 2x1 posts. You want these to be nice and sturdy. These 4 pieces will form the side supports for your trellis. Next, for the top support, we just trimmed some trees. So I had a 5-foot, 2-inch diameter tree branch. And you want this to be nice and sturdy because this is what's going to hold the weight of the tomatoes. You can go bigger in diameter if you want. Next, 4 landscape staples, a heavy-duty hammer, 2 cans of spray paint, a drill gun, 2-inch wood screws, 3-inch wood screws, and a roll of polypropylene twine. The twine does need to be polypropylene because it's weather resistant, UV resistant, and it provides a nice gentle support without cutting into the tomato plants, and it's very, very strong. Here's how I built my trellis. Step 1, I painted my T-posts and my wood posts to give it a really pretty visual appeal. Step 2, I pounded my T-posts into my garden bed up to the top of the T with the curved side inward, and I spaced them apart 5 feet, which is the length of my tree branch top support, but you can customize it to whatever your garden bed is. Step 3, I connected the wooden posts with my tree branch top support by laying them on the ground and then screwing the top support into the wooden post with a 3-inch screw. Step 4 is I assembled the trellis with camera guy's help, holding the wooden post in place. I attached the T-post to the wooden post with 2-inch screws about 8 inches down the T-post. By attaching the wooden post to the T-post, it not only gives my trellis a lot of added stability, but it also makes my trellis about 8.5 feet tall, and you can customize it to fit whatever garden space you have. Next, I prepared my garden bed by loosening up the soil, adding worm castings, organic granular fertilizer, mixing them in. Then I dug my tomato holes about 1 foot apart. They can be closer because of single stem pruning. Next, I tied the twine to the landscape staple, pushed the landscape staple deep into the tomato hole, ran the string up to the top support, wrap it around the top support several times, and tie it off. The string should be taut without a lot of slack. Next, it's time to plant the tomato. Now I'm planting my tomato in front of the string. So I threw a couple extra handfuls of compost, some more worm castings into the hole, then planted my tomato deep in the hole, leaving a few sets of top leaves. The beauty of this method is that as the tomato grows, the roots will hold the landscape staple and the string into place. Next is pruning. As the tomato plant reaches about 1 foot tall and has its first set of flowers, you want to prune all the branches below the first set of flowers, and then twirl the tomato plant around the string so it can grow upwards. Now, don't twirl the tomato plant around the stem until the first set of flowers appear, until it's about 1 foot tall, because this will give the tomato plant a chance to develop a stronger stem. Next, I'm going to prune the suckers. Now, the suckers are the growth that comes out between the main stem and the leafy branches. And you want to prune these, again, to manage the size, increase the airflow, and so more of the plant's energy is directed into producing big tomatoes rather than leaves. If you want to, you could root these suckers in water. They'll develop roots and make a clone of the mother. Now the key to this tomato string trellis working is keeping up with the pruning and the twirling. Once a week, I'm going to be pruning the suckers that appear and twirling the tomato stem around the string as it grows upward. I was really happy with what an easy and inexpensive build this is, and I cannot wait to see these tomatoes grow up and this entire area filled with tomatoes. So I want to challenge you to build one. Let's grow on a tomato string trellis together this summer. Thanks for watching. See you next time in the garden.